We are going to now take a look at the perimeter of polygons and the area of quadrilaterals. So, first of all, I would like to take a minute and let's have a quick discussion about what a polygon is. Okay, so a polygon is the word polygon is literally many sides. Okay. So polygons there's a couple of things. They are closed figures. Okay. So think something like this or like this. Um, something like this is not a polygon because this is not closed. Okay. Um, something else about polygons. It does need to have three or more sides. Okay. Um, and no curves. Okay. So something like this is not a polygon. Okay. So literally just something with many sides. Okay. So when we have a polygon and here is a polygon. Okay. Um, these anywhere we have a meeting of two line segments, this is called a vertex. And this is called a side. Okay. So when we are looking at polygons and we want to find the perimeter, so let's throw a couple of polygons out here. Um, and yes, even that is a polygon. There are no curved sides. Okay. And if we want to find the perimeter, okay, so perimeter. So perimeter is literally the sum of all sides, or the sum of all side lengths. Okay. So if we said that the length of each side here, let's say that this is 4 units, and this is, say, 7 units, and we're going to say that this is what we call a regular polygon, which means that all sides are equal. Um, and then let's do this. Okay. So a couple of things here. So first of all, to find the perimeter of this figure right here, 4 plus 4 plus 7 plus 7, Okay. Or we could go, 4 plus 7 plus 4 plus 7, either way. So the perimeter of this figure right here, what is that? 8 and 15. So we have, no, 8 and 14. I'm sorry. So we have 22. Okay. The perimeter of this figure right here, we're going to add up all of these sixes. All right. So another way that we could say this is this would be like 6 times 5, because there are 5 sides on this pentagon. Okay. Now we have this rectangle here, and you're going to see in your textbook, or if you're watching some of the Pearson MyLab videos, you're going to see this figure, or this formula, where it's going to say perimeter is equal to 2L plus 2W. And if you think that you have to memorize that formula, you are going to be very, very wrong. You do not have to memorize that formula. Um, because one of the big complaints that I always hear about the geometry section in this course is, oh my gosh, there are so many formulas we have to memorize. There's not. Because since this figure right here is a rectangle, okay, because that is a rectangle, that means that this side is equal to this side. And this side measure is equal to this side measure. So if we think about it, it would just be 6 plus 5 plus 6 plus 5, right? Because this would have to be 5, this would have to be 6. And let's look. There's 2 6s, so 2 times 6. There are 2 5s, 2 times 5, and that gives us 22. And it's the same as if we just added up 6 plus 5 plus 6 plus 5, because the perimeter is just the sum of all side lengths. Okay. Now, with this arrow, I intentionally left some things blank, because the most common thing that I'm going to see is people are going to come along and they're going to add this and this and this and this, and that's wonderful. But that means, because now remember, perimeter is the sum of all side lengths. Okay. We need all side lengths. That is extremely important. And what we have happening here, well, you added this one and this one and this one and this one. But do you notice? What about this one? What about this one? And what about this one? What are those lengths? We're not given those. Well, when you're given a figure like this, okay, you can assume that the parts that look like they're the same actually are. So what we're given here, we have 3 plus 3 plus 1 plus 5, but then also this would be 1, this would be 5, and this would be 3. So plus 1 plus 5 plus 3. Okay? And we get that the perimeter of this one is 21 units. Now, something else that is really, really important with, um, so, oh, something else that is really, really important. So we're going to give it its own special color here. Yeah, I want to make sure that you guys can see it. So important. Perimeter is measured in linear units. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, what that means is let's let's do a quick parallelogram here. Okay, so let's say that the measure of these sides, let's say that this side is 4 inches and this is 6 inches. Okay, inches are linear units. They're plain. They don't have any square, anything, any cubed, anything. It's just inches. Same thing with feet or meters or pounds. Well, pounds are a measure of weight, but so centimeters, meters, inches, feet, miles, all of those are linear units because we are only measuring the distance from vertex to vertex in a linear way. It's just putting a ruler down. So we have 4 inches and 6 inches. And then remember, we're also going to have these two. Okay. So when it comes right down to it, the perimeter of this parallelogram is going to be 20 inches. Or you can abbreviate that IN, or sometimes you will see inches portrayed as like a double quotation like that. All right. So that is extremely important to remember. All right. Now let's get into area of quadrilaterals. Well, let's first define what is a quadrilateral. Okay, so the word quadrilateral literally means 4 sides. Okay, so a quadrilateral is any 4-sided figure. And the majority of 4-sided figures, the area formula is length times width. And this is for, I'm just going to abbreviate a quad. Okay. This is most quadrilaterals. Okay. So if you have a rectangle, which is one of our most common quadrilaterals, and we're going to say that this is 3 inches, and we're going to say that this is 7 inches. Okay. Well, the area is length times width. So the length of 7 inches times the width of 3 inches. And now this is where we get into different units, because this is going to be 21 square inches. Or you might see it written 21 inches squared. Okay. Either way, it's the same thing. And it will be the same thing if you're talking about feet or miles or meters or centimeters, anything like that. It is the same thing. Okay. So something else that you're going to see is, and this is where I say that, you're going to see some things and they're going to say, oh, here's a new formula. It's not a new formula. It's not a new formula at all. Okay. This looks very much like a rectangle. Well, I've kind of intentionally made it this way because this, we are going to say, is a square. I didn't actually measure it, but we're going to say that it is. And we're going to say that this square measures 5 centimeters. Okay. Well, a square, that also means that every side is 5 centimeters. Well, remember what we said the area of a quadrilateral is? Length times width. Okay. You will see the area of a square with this formula. Side squared. Well, if we square something, that's the same as multiplying it by itself. Well, isn't that just the same as length times width, which is exactly what the formula for area of a quadrilateral is? So you can remember side squared if you want to do a lot of memorizing, or you can just remember the one formula. If it's some sort of a rectangle, it's length times width. Okay, so the area here is going to be 25. And again, you might write it square centimeters. You might write it centimeters squared. Area is always in square units. That's extremely important. Area is always in square units. Okay. Now, something else you might encounter is trying to find, oh, I did not want to go there. Trying to find the area of a parallelogram. Let's slide this back over here. Okay. All right. Parallelogram. It's a pretty standard 4-sided figure. Okay. The area remains the same. Okay. Because another way, an alternate way of writing length times width can also be base times height, where like this can be considered the base or the length, and this can be considered the height or the width. Okay. So when we're trying to figure out what the height of this parallelogram is, we need to be told, and you will be told, this right here. Okay. So we'll be told that this length in here is, say, we're going to say that this is 6 meters. Okay. And then we're going to say that the base is, say, 9 meters. Well, now you have the same formula. Okay. Area is length times width, or base times height. 9 meters times 6 meters. And we would say that that is 54 meters squared. Or you might say square meters. Either way, I think Pearson is primarily going to have it as like meters squared. Okay. Now, the only formula that is going to get a little bit squirrely on us, okay, is when we are talking about the area of a trapezoid. And I don't think I have a trapezoid tool. No, I don't. Okay. So we're going to do our best with what we've got. Y'all wish me luck on this. Okay. So, area of a trapezoid. So we have a formula, and it is base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height. All right. So we have this trapezoid. All right. And we will be told this, because remember, this right here is the height. Okay. And we might be told that the height is, let's say that the height is 6 inches. Okay. And we are told that this length here is, say, 7 inches. And this length here is 19 inches. Okay. So the top and the bottom, like these two parallel lines, these are the two bases of the trapezoid. So you can say that this is maybe base 1, and this is going to be base 2. Okay. And now you have everything that you need to complete this formula. So base 1 inches plus base 2 inches divided by 2 times the height. Okay. So that ends up giving you 13 inches times 6 inches, which makes the area equal to 78 inches squared. I again hope that this video was helpful. Remember to reach out to your instructor with any questions. We are here to help in any way we can.